Welcome back to Street Moto Z. We're going to be doing some weaving in parking spaces. We're going to skip a space between every weave. Alright, let's try the parking space weave. Well, you can see me way back in the back of the parking lot, and I am just making a turn. So what I'm doing is I will ride down the alley of 2 parking places and then turn like I'm doing now, skip 2 parking places and go down the next alley and skip the next alley of 2 parking places, go down the alley, skip 2, turn and go down the next alley. Now I'm not going down the middle of the alleys. I'm kind of giving myself a little bit more room on the turn because right now I need it. I'm not able to turn super tight yet. One thing I'm doing, I just used the brake. I think I got too fast. One thing I'm trying to do is to not use the front nor rear brake, which adds, I just did a foot stomp there, so I got too slow and couldn't keep the bike upright, so I had to do a foot stomp and speed up a little bit to get the bike balanced again. So I'm trying not to use the brakes at all. I'm trying to use only the clutch friction zone to speed myself up and not get too fast, because I don't want to have to use the brake at the end of the alley to make the turn here. So I'll go down the alley, and then looks like I used the brake there some. I probably sped up a little too much with the friction zone. So again, trying to not use too much brake here. Trying to just use the friction zone. As you see, there is some sand on the parking area. Trying to avoid any patches of sand on the turn. So sometimes I might swing out a little bit wider. One way I could fix that is bring a blower, battery powered blower out there and blow off some areas to make sure that there's not any sand on any of these turns. So just making a few passes on this, going back and forth, and eventually, if I could get to the point where I can turn the handlebars to a full locked position, it will help. I haven't been able to really do this time, so I am working on that. If I can get the turn and get the tightest turn possible, that's where I want to be. So I'm continuing to work on this, and hopefully we'll get better at it. Eventually the next stage would be to not skip an alley, to just go down the lane and turn down the next lane and not skip any lanes at all. But this is something that I'm going to need to practice. Of course, I did a few foot stomps, and I don't need to use the brakes. Still got my Dragonfly, buddy.